few days ago, after finishing my Weathering with You small talk, I went looking deep into my external hard drive, not for porn, but for old videos. Because if you aren't aware, the ones available on this channel right now aren't all the ones that I have done. I had many others in my original channel, but unfortunately that channel got deleted because copyright, fair use, and my own stupidity by signing my name with my artistic name and then changing it back for no apparent reason. Anyway, so a good portion of those videos are gone. I failed to save them, but others survived. Since around 2016-17, I also started uploading stuff to VidMe, a video sharing website that is currently dead. And after YouTube killed that other channel, I decided to save as many material as I could. And now, since I am trying to create consistency in my upload schedule, like at least one video a week, more if I can, I had an idea. Since I want some of those videos back online, why don't I just do that? They aren't perfect, but I'm proud of them and want to have them available in my current channel. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'll release an older video in between newer ones I'm currently working on. And don't worry, I'll also put something in the thumbnails to identify that video as an old one. Because although I like them, the sound and image quality is far inferior to what I have now. And you don't have to watch videos I did so far back as 2016 if you don't want to. Anyway, enjoy! Dear Benny, the new King Kong movie was a massive pile of shit. The end. Okay guys, now seriously, this movie was awful, but it isn't on a scale that's so bad it's good, it's just bad. Really, really bad. So far the only consensus on what this movie did poorly falls entirely on the lack of development of any of the characters. And since that was the most noticeable flaw with the film, it's normal that's the one people have discussed the most. Some idiots have counter-argued that in a monster movie, you don't need fleshed out and fully realized characters, just action between giant monsters. Ironically, these are the same people that trashed on the Transformers sequel. It's really funny when you think about it. Anyway, now let's talk about the 2017 version of Suicide Squad. Only here, instead of Harley Quinn, we have a giant monkey. It didn't improve the movie whatsoever. In fact, I would even say this is even worse than Suicide Squad. Maybe some of the action sequences are better, and by better I mean average. Nothing in this movie is great, not even the action, but an average action scene beats a boring one any day of the week. The overall problems that make this a worse film than Squad, in my opinion, is the acting. John Goodman looks like he could not give a fuck about the film, and the characters played by Tom Hiddleston and Brie Larson are so shit and poorly written that their acting is nothing but a blank wall. They were only hired because they're hot. That's it. At least in Suicide Squad, all the actors were acting, and some were even really good, and there was some sort of effort by their part, despite what I can imagine is one of the worst screenplays ever written. Let's talk about trying. Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, we can all agree it's not the best movie ever made. In fact, it's pretty bad, horrible even. However, there's a certain amount of trying involved to make sure the film wasn't a total piece of shit. Yes, it did end up being some pretentious crap from the mind of a 14-year-old boy, but at least it tried. Suicide Squad didn't try, only the actors. Here, in Island of Who Gives a Fuck, who tried? Nobody. The acting varies from average to not caring, the editing is atrocious, this looks like what was left from a movie that was butchered in the editing room. Just 500 cuts for every scene, and combine that with the awful camera movement. Just gave me headaches. This is really poor filmmaking. The framing is equally terrible. In fact, there are plenty of laugh-out moments when two characters are talking to each other and then, between cutting from one to the other, they just keep closing on their faces to the point where I burst out laughing. Then I remember there were other people in the theater, and I was extremely embarrassed. Like everyone who was involved in this film should be.
Hello darkness, my old friend.
Anyway, the part that reminded me the most of Suicide Squad wasn't the editing or the cinematography. It was the fact that every 5 minutes there's a new fucking song. Seriously, why aren't more reviewers and just random people talking about this? The first half hour of this shit is literally a remake of Suicide Squad. The only difference is that this story makes slightly more sense. Slightly. It's still pretty fucking dumb. Let's talk about the definition of a popcorn movie. Now, it's a movie you know it's not going to win any Oscars and you're just going to have a good time. You are aware the movie is most likely not going to be any good. Several people have called Kong a popcorn summer movie, and that's okay. It's totally fine to enjoy terrible garbage. Hell, even I'll say I greatly enjoyed terrible films just because of their entertainment value, like Jurassic World, Avengers 2, and that X-Men thing with Oscar Isaac. Not all equally bad, but not one of them is good. They were all schlock with different degrees of quality. And if you think Kong is a schlocky movie with plenty of enjoyable parts, then that's cool. I think Kong Skull Island is one of the worst big budget films Hollywood has ever made, with terrible or just there CGI, a limit for the IQ of the script, no characters, just humans, tonally incoherent, boring or just barely interesting action sequences, and one of the most hilarious post-credits and pre-credit scenes ever made. I mean, there isn't even a continuity to the story. It starts with the company Monarch, the company that's looking for the monsters, on the edge of bankruptcy. But by the end, after the guy that runs it gets eaten by some monster, alongside with most people that went to the island, Monarch apparently has enough financial resources to track back Loki and Larson and make sure they get on board more missions. How did they get more money if they left the island with zero evidence that monsters exist? There's an entire moment dedicated to our characters promising not to tell anyone about the island. This movie doesn't make any fucking sense. We can debate forever whether or not DC is copying the Marvel formula, but we can all see when a cheap knockoff from a third party is just now trying to get in the game. I'm giving Kong Island of Headaches a 1 out of 10. Terrible editing plus atrocious cinematography combined with lackluster performances and a story that came out of watching children playing with toys. It doesn't quite make it for a good film. It does make it for one of the worst ones ever made. God, I hate this film. Anyway, thanks for watching, hope you like it, comment below, down below, leave a like for that YouTube algorithm, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!